Anime seasons have been getting worse and worse lately, with some of the most recent being the first half of Blue Lock Season 2, Tower of God Season 2, and Uzumaki. These three have had mixed reviews due to all of them having a similar problem, an animation drop off. The first episodes of Uzumaki were great, and then as more came out, it started to drop off. Blue Lock was just kind of a meme all along, with most people comparing it to a PowerPoint project. We know what type of release hasn't been falling off in animation? Parts. Or cores. The first big part release was Attack on Titan's final season, but with all jokes aside, when all the parts ended up coming out, the animation was some of the most top tier stuff, and finishing off with 2 movies, everything was all good. Were we impatient at times when we had to wait months for the next part? Yep, of course. Did we wish it released as a season? For sure, but if it did, I don't think we would have gotten the same amount of quality that we did. So now, why couldn't Blue Lock do a split into 2 parts of the first selection and the U20 match? Well, first we need to understand how series even get to parts or not. Quick disclaimer, I am not in any shape or form in the production side or in the process of making any anime. This is purely from searching the internet. Anyways, Japanese broadcasters give series slots in their seasonal release schedule, being spring, summer, fall, and winter. Now, within the schedule, series are given a slot between 12 to 24 episodes. Some more popular series can get a split, also known as parts, which would be something looking like Bleach Thousand Year Blood War. So what's the difference between parts and seasons, since they are both releasing roughly the same amount of episodes? The planning. With seasons, they have a weekly window to animate each episode, which can sometimes give results like this, with the time frame being too small for scenes that they're trying to bring to life. Going back to Bleach, each part has come out almost a year apart from each other, which makes sense because the studio behind it is Studio Perio, more specifically Perio Films, a sub-studio that's been handling Part 3. Broadcasters give Bleach a split or part run, which allows the studio to plan more effectively for animating multiple series. Now, there's a few details I want to mention though. Bleach and the studio are both highly regarded in the animation scene. The author Tite Kubo is directly involved, so I'm guessing, when speaking with the broadcasters, they had more leeway than a series airing for the first time by a smaller studio. Now back on the topic of seasons, they're usually handled by smaller studios. For Blue Lock, it's handled by 8-Bit Studios, which in this year alone has animated 7 sequels, 2 specials, and 2 movies, which is a lot for a company who only has 60 employees as of 2021. Now, they might have grown in the last 3 years, but that is still a lot of animation in 1 year for a small studio, compared to something like Studio Peria, which had double the staff in 2022 with 158 employees. But there has to be a middle ground, right? Well, if we look at the studio that's been animating for Dandadan, Science Saru, they only animated 3 movies this year, and one of them being a series of short stories made by the studio itself. The rest of their time could be focused on Dandadan, and it turned out to be high quality episodes each week. Now, here's where things get a bit fuzzy because I couldn't find much info on the process of a manga getting adaptation, but what I found was the publishers of the manga in question contract the studios to animate by pitching the series to multiple studios. Now, if it's a big name publisher, they can reach out to big name studios to join on the project, but if it's a smaller publisher, which is the case for Blue Lock, then they don't have as much money to spend on studio animation rates. Which leads us right back to a studio that already has a lot on its schedule, taking on another series which broadcasters give a single weekly running season, and that season gets poorly animated, and once again, making the point that parts will almost always be better than seasons. Thank you so much for watching till the end. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you have any comments or anything that you want to add to the topic of parts being better than seasons or seasons just getting worse as a whole, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, you can also check out any of the 2 other videos on the screen currently. But that's all for me. I will see you guys later.